The Global Psychosis Network presents The Trashy Show, where everything is a conspiracy, even you are a conspiracy.
Everything is a conspiracy.
Everything is a conspiracy.
Everything is a conspiracy.
It's the Trashy Show,
Is a conspiracy.
where everything is a conspiracy, even you are a conspiracy.
Everything is a
I am your
conspiracy.
host, Jimbo Trashy.
Is a conspiracy.
This is episode 44. And here we are, once again, together again, on the internet. So it's been a while since I've been on this podcast tip, right? I think the last time I was on here or uploaded a podcast was back at the end of August. But I've had a lot of things going on, things I had to deal with. My dog is still alive, believe it or not. I thought this dog would be dead already because, I mean, it's blind, it's deaf, it's constantly coughing, but the dog is still eating. And apparently, from what my wife has told me, if the dog is still willing to eat, they're less likely to put the dog down. I want to put the dog down because I feel like she's suffering at this point. Her quality of life is shit. She's in diapers. We have to carry her outside every time she has to go to the bathroom. And she doesn't even know what to do. She literally walks around in circles until we pick her up. I had to put her in the bathroom right now because she wouldn't stop coughing and walking around in complete delirium. And that shit gets annoying after a while. We put her in diapers because she was shitting on the floor. We would take her outside. She wouldn't shit. And we're waiting out there for 10, sometimes 20 minutes for this dog to shit. Just sniffs around, acts like everything's cool. And then we bring the dog back inside. And then, oh, now I have to shit all over your floor. So we've been doing with that. And I don't know how much longer this dog's going to go, but I guess as long as this dog's eating, we're going to keep it alive. Other than that, I recently rebuilt my music studio. It had been sitting there collecting dust for a while after COVID. I mean, I still had my setup, but I wasn't using this frequently. And, see, now she's crying. I might have to take her out of the bathroom at some point. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, so... See, there she goes again. Hold on one second. Okay, so I put her in the bedroom. So hopefully that'll keep her more content because she can go lay somewhere where it's comfortable. Anyway, so I had a studio that was set up, but due to COVID, I kind of started not going out there as frequently. Not that it's an excuse, but I was just preoccupied with other things, trying to figure out where I'm going to work, if I'm going to have a job, stuff like that. So my stuff got kind of outdated and obsolete. And next thing you know, it's been 5 years, and I'm ready to do music again. I'm ready to record a new album or start writing material, and my computer's not working. It's having software issues and all this other bullshit. So I decided, you know what, it's time to just completely revamp my studio. It kind of became a storage place for a while because my wife just kept piling shit in there. And I didn't really care because I wasn't using it regularly. So, yeah, sure, make it a storage space. But I finally had enough. And I was like, look, I need to clear this shit out. And I need to make it a studio again because that's what I do. So I ended up tearing out the carpet, putting a new rug down, I got a brand new computer, brand new what do you call that? Audio interface. Got a whole new setup, new desk, everything. And we're back in business for the most part. There's a few little software things I might have to take care of. I've already done most of it. I can make music again. I'm already actually working on my first track for my daughter, who wants to be, because she's heard and seen what I've done, she wants to start recording. So we're going to record her very first song sometime next week. And it's going to be a little kid Christmas song. And I'm not sure if you guys remember back in the day, I did that Halloween song for that other little girl, a family friend. She wanted to do a Halloween song, so we did that. Well, she saw the video of that, my daughter, so she wants to do her own song now. So we're going to do a Christmas song, and hopefully get it, not a video, because I think it's a little too quick for that. I don't have enough time. Maybe later on we'll get a video going, but for now I just want to get her in the booth and recording music. Because she doesn't really understand what it's about or what you do. She just wants to hear herself. And I don't think she really can grasp the fact that this beat that I made is going to be your song. You just have to record now. She doesn't really get it. She knows she can sing to it, but she needs to hear herself on a recording, and then she'll kind of understand the process, you know? So anyways, that's what's been going on. What else here? I've been doing a lot of videos. Because before, I've always done videos for my music. But the thing is, like, the way I do video, I don't really like to do, like, rapping into the camera anymore. I've done that before, and I've came to realize that, I don't know, first of all, everyone does it. That's an artist, for the most part. Or, I won't say everyone, but most people that are an artist, especially a rapper, they're going to rap on camera. And I'm not against them. I might do it in the future, here and there, or sparingly, when it's called for, if the song really needs me to be on camera. But I don't like every single song to be the same fucking shit of a rapper, all up in your mug, telling you how great he is. So I usually like to do stuff that's more visually entertaining. So I would always, like, especially with my music with Elvis on Acid, I would cut different clips of different conspiracy theories or topics that I'm discussing while I'm rapping it or singing it. And that's a tedious process, because I gotta always before I always had to find the right clip, and a lot of times that shit would get scrubbed off the internet, so I'm trying to research this shit on YouTube, and YouTube's getting worse and worse, by the way, as far as finding stock footage of things that you've seen before, and now you go back to try and resource it, and it's gone because it's no longer, appropriate for YouTube. So a lot of that stuff was getting harder and harder to find. It would make video editing a nightmare, because it's like, where is that clip of Bohemian Grove that I've seen a million times and now I can't find it? Well, now with AI becoming so advanced, it's really became a lot easier to do video editing on the way I do things, because I don't have to necessarily look for a clip on the internet. Even though it's a legitimate clip, I can just recreate it in After Effects, or in AI programs like Sora, for instance, or Grok Imagine. And yeah, I know it's not real. People are like, hey, that's fake. But I really don't give a shit. At this point, it's really just about keeping the viewer captivated, whether they like my song or not. Because some people are going to like the song, some people won't like the song I put out. But hopefully the video will keep you captivated long enough to watch it. And then you can shit on it afterwards in the comments or whatever. I really don't care. A lot of people think I make music because I'm trying to make it in the industry. I don't care about making it in the industry. I've already tried that. I saw what it was about and what I would have to do that, and I don't want to do that. I enjoy being my own boss, doing my own thing when it comes to my creative pursuits. No one's telling me what to do. No one's telling me how to do it, when to do it, how often to do it. I do it at my leisure. And that's the best way to do things. People that are dependent on these record labels or executives telling them how to do things. You even see it in the video game industry now. A lot of these video games are just crap because a bunch of suit and ties are telling them what to put in the game, what to take out. Make sure you put microtransactions. Make sure it's done by this date. and you get unfinished products, or products that you wouldn't even want to play or listen to. So I'm gonna right now play the latest video, well, one of the latest videos that I did using AI, which made it a lot simpler. And there's still a creative process behind it, because AI doesn't do exactly what you want. So you have to be kind of creative and kind of use your imagination, so to speak, to try and describe exactly what you're picturing in your brain. I mean, I don't have the time to animate all this stuff. Whenever I make songs, I have videos in my head while I'm doing the songs a lot of the time. Oh, this would be a perfect scene for this bar or this chorus. And yeah, I would love to just create it myself and spend time, spend a whole day molding or putting a skin on a 3D model of a reptilian or something, but I don't have the time for that shit. So it's a lot easier, especially with music videos. A cartoon's different, because with Trashville, I have to take way more time involved, because that's like my baby, so to speak. And it's all visual for the most part, or it's primarily visual, whereas the music speaks for itself. The visual is just kind of like a sprinkling on top. So I don't take the visual aspect too seriously as far as what needs to be seen on the screen. But this is one of the songs that I did recently, and we're going to play it right now for you guys.
So this is a total corporate takeover of the life cycle of the planet. Victims were genetically modified. Opening films like a devil personified. With the last house should have clarified. But I'm still both times so much open. Something this is open. Globally spoken by technology. The economy dependent on the intellectual property. Aggressive litigation, hidden portion. Happy waste my vision, put down this nation. The green genetic engineering is hereditary. Commercialized, now monopolized needs. Run to our love of food, so they can control you and your mood with their ingredients to harm you with your obedience. They get to stop like you hide, and your dreams to have rights on your needs. People start to hide, children, people start to hide, children, people start to hide, children, people start to hide. Strong will stop you, euthanize with the serious medical pesticides. FDA approved the food to sterilize. Population rate, pay all the rise. Stop GMO, vaccines, and every single half zone. Little games and poison lawsuits with you. Something new. They sterilate still that's news and the chills. There is no more off screw to blow a lie. Don't want anything to do with you. Fuck your life. Manufacture that for first they test mice. An experiment was left from your slow demise. They want to own our love of food, so they can control you and
So anyways, that was the first video I did with AI primarily. And that song was, you know, it's been around for a while. There's a lot of songs that I have that are on deck that need videos, and I just haven't done it, you know. So that was one that was like, that one needs a video. I feel like that message, if there's anything that I could, because I know most people don't really give a shit about conspiracy theories, because it doesn't really apply to them. Like, oh, big deal, there's some people in Bohemian Grove dancing around in fucking robes and shit, having gay sex and orgies and all that. But the one conspiracy that I feel like could trigger something to open up the portal to a rabbit hole would be your own health. And what is there as far as the ingredients they put in our food, the stuff they get away with because it's cheaper, because it's easier to produce, or whatever their deal is. So that's one song that I felt like needed to have a video that would captivate these people to watch. Hopefully it did that for you. I don't really talk to many coworkers in my personal life. I just kind of keep it professional. Good morning, have a good day, see you tomorrow, kind of thing. But I've been having a lot of new coworkers who, for whatever reason, maybe because they're younger, keep like bugging the shit out of me. They like want to know me for some reason, which is kind of odd because I'm not used to people wanting to get to know me like that. Where they're just like, hey, how was your weekend? What are you up to? What are you doing tomorrow? Like, you're not my friend. Like, why do you give a shit, right? So this one dude kept asking me, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, I make music. I don't like to talk about it because I feel like every person I ever met that does music, they're always like, oh, buy my album, or check out my album. Like, here's my album. Check out this song. And like, nobody wants to hear your music, dude, unless they discover it. That's what I've came to realize. Because when I was doing shows back in the day, we would have CDs pressed, ready to go, and we go to like Hermosa Beach or just different random places and say, hey, free CD, free CD. Like, it's free. You don't even have to pay for it. We're giving it to you. Just check it out when you have some free time. Almost nobody wanted it. It's like you were offering them drugs or something. Like, oh no, I don't mess around with that stuff, dude. No, that's music. I don't. No thanks. And it's because you're giving it to them. You're putting it in their face, and it's not cool to hear music when it's like shoved in your face. At least from my perspective, because whenever I liked bands, it's because I discovered it on my own. I was just browsing the internet, and like, what is this shit? I clicked on it, and I'm like, oh, this shit's dope. How many views has it got? Oh, it's only got like 300 views. How does no one else know about this shit? Oh, cool. This is like my shit now, because I discovered it. So it's like my music that I listen to, you know what I mean? That I think a lot of people are like that. They want it to be theirs. They don't want to like something, or they don't want to give something a chance if everyone's into it. It gets watered down. It gets saturated. Like Red Hot Chili Peppers. Perfect example. Not that Red Hot Chili Peppers is a bad band per se, but they're so oversaturated in the market that nobody really wants to like hear them, or like no one's gonna say that's my favorite band unless they're a total casual listener who doesn't really appreciate music and they just want to listen to whatever's catchy. But if you're a music head, you're not gonna say Red Hot Chili Peppers is your shit because it's out there already. Everyone fucking listens to it. Everyone fucking's heard it. You want to discover the new shit, the underground shit, the shit that no one's heard of, but it's your shit because you discovered it. No one's even heard of Elvis on Acid until you brought it up to somebody. So that's how I try to take my approach to my music. I don't promote myself, maybe to my detriment, and I'm never going to because I don't care. I don't need to get bots to, give me views or followers. I'm sure there's people out there who put bots on my accounts because they think it's going to get my account suspended or whatever they're trying to do by accomplishing that, but I don't personally do any of that shit. So anyways, this coworker wanted to hear my music, and I played this video for him because he was asking me. I kind of felt like he didn't think I really did music, you know, a lot of people talk shit and kind of blow smoke up people's asses. Like, oh yeah, I'm in a band, or oh yeah, I do music. And then, well, can I hear it? Oh no, I don't have anything recorded or ready yet. I don't want to be that guy. If you're gonna call me out on what I do, then I'm gonna present it to you. I'm not gonna offer it to you. I'm not gonna say, hey, guess what I did this weekend. But if you're gonna say, oh, so what'd you really do this weekend? Let me see, you know, then I'm gonna show you. So I showed this guy this video, and he liked it. And I could tell he genuinely liked it because he kept listening to other stuff of mine after I walked away. He could have easily turned it off. He wasn't listening to my music all day or anything, but he listened to a good 4 or 5 songs. And he was impressed, so I guess, you know, pat me on the back for that one. But that was the first video I did, genetically Monsanto-fied. He did ask me, what does genetically Monsanto-fied mean? And I told him, you know, basically it's a play on words from genetically modified organisms. Monsanto, which they changed their name now, I forget what it's called, but it was just a play on the words. So instead of genetically modified, I put Monsanto-fied. Because I feel like GMOs as a science could probably be a good thing if it was done correctly and it wasn't corrupted by people who want to add chemicals and ingredients that can cause cancer and whatever else. The actual science behind it, just like vaccines, like, yeah, a vaccine's a good idea if it works and it's done ethically, but who's in charge? You know what I mean? That's where the problem arises, that people don't seem to get or grasp. I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm not anti-GMO. I'm anti the people that are in charge of this shit who corrupt it and make it their own business model to get people sick and whatever else. So anyways, that was that video. And then here's another video I did for my side project with Fast Eddie, Ammunition for Blackmail. And this one's another one of those old tracks that, you know, I really want to continue making projects or music with this dude. I'm hoping he wants to still do stuff. I know he's really busy and he's got his life going on, but he makes some dope beats, and he's really hard on himself. He's always like, that shit sucks, it's whack, but here, you can have it. And I'm like, no, bro, it's good. Give it a chance. Let it breathe. You know what I mean? So this is one of the, he had basically a CD of like 17 or 18 beats. And I said, if you're not going to use them, because he was sitting on him, I'm like, let me rap on him, dude. I want to do like a stream of consciousness type of thing where I'm just like going in from one beat to the next, and it's like 666 bars. It's not like a song with a hook, chorus, verse. It just goes one into another, you know? And that was the idea behind this project. And I don't know if he 100% understood what I was talking about until he heard it. I think he kind of got the idea, but it's still a work in progress. I got like most of the bars done, like not recorded but written. But here's one of the videos. This is one of the songs that was like probably one of the best ones I thought that came out of the project so far. So we're gonna play that one right now. It's called Inner Venom. So that song, that song was actually one of those ones I wrote before I had kids. It was a discussion with me and my wife, and it's funny because my daughter heard this song recently because she saw me making the video, and she wanted to watch it, and she was like, "Is that supposed to be you?" Because in the video there's a Hispanic guy with tattoos or whatever, and I was like, "Yeah, that's supposed to be me." And it was just funny how she like cued in on that because I wasn't trying to make it too obvious. It was just trying to be some dude who goes to jail and shit. But because it's my song and then I'm rapping and shit, she put two and two together. But at the very end of that song, like you hear that, whoop, it kind of goes in. No one probably knows this, and this is kind of like an Easter egg, but it's just supposed to like represent like the sound fatigue you get from making music and trying to make it in the industry. When you're really trying to make it in the industry, you're like constantly pumping shit out and you got headphones on. And a lot of times, a lot of people just don't realize, you're sitting there mixing your own beat after you finish. Like back in the day, dude, we would we'd make a beat in the morning. We'd write lyrics to it. We'd record it all afternoon. We'd spend all early evening mixing it and shit. And then towards the end of the night, you're like trying to master it. And by the time you get your headphones off, whether it was me or someone helping me, like you can't even, your ears are fucked. People need to learn to like take a break. You record it, do the other shit tomorrow. But when you're trying to like make it in the industry, a lot of people try to just do the whole thing in one fucking shot because they're hungry, and I get it. So that was why I threw that last sound at the very end, where it just kind of goes into like a monotone signal. Because at some point, that's what your ears end up doing. But anyway, so that's what that song was. I'm going to play the other one now. They're all really quick songs, so. This one's Time to Hit the Stage. And this is one of those songs that, it's like I said, it's not even a minute long. But it's one of those ones where people are like, dude, how come you're not performing? Why don't you go on stage? I don't like going on stage. I do, but I don't. Because all the bullshit that comes with it. Will I ever do a show on stage again? I don't know. Maybe. If I find the right people and, it benefits me. But not to benefit a bunch of Zionists or some guy who's trying to make it as a promoter or whatever the fuck it is. So that's basically what this song's about. And it's kind of just mocking the people that are obsessed with going around the country and trying to do shows because they want to impress people or whatever.
It's time to hit the stage. Rap to your fans, how your rap shit is on phase. And now you're coming back, cause regret is all the rage. Tweet a little message, speak for all the gays. Or any fucking race, no matter whichever way. Just get people to the place, so they start to stupid face. And make us want some cash, not for you, not for now. You can pick up all that trash and then fuck what you saw. Note to self-hate, calling it in a monologue. Hashtag praise the synagogue. And what the fuck is with this dialogue? I was better off. What I said, when I say to you, just break your head. If I have to tell you twice, you're gonna end up dead. Like just a bed, but that will be the end.
Yeah, and a lot of these musicians, I never had that level of stress where I'm a Chester Bennington. But I can see how it gets to that point because you have to tour if you want to make any sort of money, since the record labels get all your money. Because they own your music. And that was never appealing to me. Back in the day, I didn't know what to expect as far... I thought, you just bust your ass and make good music and someone's going to buy it and they're going to give you a record label or a record deal. But no, all that means is they want to market you. So what good is it to be marketed if it's not going to benefit you directly? Anyone that's doing it independently, on their own, with no desire to sign to a record label, more power to them. That's the way you should do it. That's the way everyone should do it. But there's this, for whatever reason, still, even though we've have Napster and all this other shit that came out and has pretty much proven that nobody wants to pay for music directly unless they know the artist, there's still a stronghold of people that think that the old school model is the way to do shit. And I don't really get it. I really don't. And until that industry is destroyed and you make money doing it because you did it, I really want nothing to do with it. That's why I continue to do my own thing. And anyone that does their own thing, that's who I want to support. And that's basically what that song's about. So if you do your own shows and you're making all the money and you're not giving it to anybody else, I support you. If you're doing it because you want to make money after you pay someone else, I can't be on board with that. It's just, I think it's a stupid business decision. And then the last video we're going to show here is a 13 Bloodlines video, which is another project of mine that a lot of people don't know about. Because I mean, if you know me, you know Elvis on Acid, even though it has very little promotion. That is like my project that people associate with Jimbo Trashy. But I have multiple projects. 13 Bloodlines is another one. And this one's, I try to keep it as the way I view it as a instrumental only. It started out as a dark classical or orchestra themed project, and it's remaining that for now. Who knows what it'll do in the future. But here's the one I just did a video for. Actually, just finished it right before I started this podcast. So anyways, that's that video. And that one I was, you know, when you don't have lyrics, it's kind of hard to, like, picture, okay, what am I going to put here? Because it's just music. And it's, you know, with the classical stuff, on this project, it's very repetitive. I mean, there's different arrangements and whatnot, but there's no lyrics to kind of progress a storyline, so to speak. But the more I listened to it, it just sounded like... Well, originally I was picturing like a you know, remember that game Super Mario Brothers 3 for NES? When you're on the, I think it's like World 8 or something, you see like the pirate ship or whatever it is, and you're like going to fight Bowser, and it's like the final level basically. That's what it kind of reminded me of. But I was like, I don't really want to incorporate Mario Brothers to this song. So I was like, well, what does it also kind of remind me of? It kind of reminds me of like the battle, like hell getting prepared for battle before they go, and like Jesus Christ is like came to earth, and they're like doing their battle cry. They're getting themselves hyped up before they go to earth to fucking battle the angels and Jesus and shit. So that's kind of what I was going for with that. It's kind of like their last hurrah before they go and get slaughtered and shit. Because, you know, good always prevails. That's where I was going with that. And that was a tricky one. Because I'm trying to, like, you know, I'm working with AI here. And I'm trying to tell it to do certain things. And it's like, no, that's not what I wanted you to do. Why the fuck are you doing that? So it took a little tweaking. But I finally got something that I thought was decently made to you know, keep someone entertained. But anyway, that's the latest video, and there are going to be way more videos coming out now because, like I said, with AI helping me with the video editing, it's going to be a lot easier to pump this shit out. Because I want to focus more on music in my cartoon. Video editing was taking a lot of time, finding the right clips, making sure it's exactly what I wanted. AI, like I said, there's way more flexibility here, so I can knock these out a lot quicker. Videos that was taking me like a week or two, I can do in like a day if I really wanted to. And that's the whole goal here, is to pump shit out quicker. Anyways, moving on from all that stuff. Arc Raiders. Actually, I'll say before that, No Man's Sky. I can't remember if I was talking about No Man's Sky last time I did a podcast. I know I was playing Cyberpunk for a while, and I got sick of that game after fucking 6 months or whatever the hell I was playing that game. I love the game, but I was just burnt out on it. I was playing it every single day. And then I went to No Man's Sky. And No Man's Sky, I had bought a long time ago. It was pretty much sitting on my games to play eventually for like 5 years. And I finally gave it a chance now because I saw an ad and it reminded me of it. And that game got me hooked. And I still love this game. It's going to be like one of my games I play until the day I'm dead. I don't see myself never playing this. I don't see myself never not playing this game. Kind of like a GTA, but in space. That game was really fun. I didn't know what the hell I'm doing. The only thing I don't like about No Man's Sky is I constantly have to like ask Grok, like, what do I do now? Because I'll like Google it, and like the people that are explaining it don't really explain it well. So I literally have to like go on like the internet, ask AI, what the fuck do I do now? I have this, why isn't it working? So, I mean, if you can get past that part, or maybe you're just better at video games than me and you just inherently know what to do next, it's fun. And it is funny, even with, you know, asking Grok, what do I do? But now that I've kind of played it for a while, I don't need to use Grok or whatever to, like, what do I do next? I kind of get the gist of the game now, so now it's fun. There is a learning curve on that game, though. But if you guys are into, like, space exploration, I definitely recommend No Man's Sky. To me, it beats Starfield out of the water. I know there's the other game, Starfield Citizen. I haven't messed with that game at all. And people swear that's like the be-all, end-all of space games. But if you don't want to buy that game, I would say No Man's Sky is definitely the way to go. You won't regret it. It has, like, when you go into the planet, like, one of my biggest complaints about Starfield is when you go to a planet, it's basically just loading screens. You just click on a menu, load, I want to go to that planet now. And then it just loads the planet, like, okay, loading, and then you just show up there. What fun is that? That doesn't feel like space exploration. It feels like you're just going somewhere after clicking a menu. No Man's Sky, you actually have to travel there. If you don't have, like, the the boosts or whatever that you need to like get to that planet, it's gonna take you like 20 minutes to get there, legitimately. You don't have to do that, but if you don't want to like resource and craft shit, it's gonna take you that long. There's ways to get to planets quick. Don't get me wrong, but if you don't know what you're doing, like when I first started playing the game, I'm like, okay, here's a planet. I'm gonna go over here. I was sitting there like just staring at it for like 10 minutes, like, dude, what is taking so fucking long? And I'm like, oh, I have to get these things that I have to craft so I can get there quicker, you know? But even when you go like through the atmosphere, like you go through the atmosphere and you like see the planet and you go through the atmosphere and then you see the land. It's just way more in what's the word I'm looking for? It's way more it just feels like you're actually traveling through space without saying the words that I need to say because I can't think of them right now. But that No Man's Sky is definitely one of the best games I ever played. Entertaining wise, it's chill too. So like, if you have to pause it for a minute to go deal with your kids or like take a piss or whatever, like you don't have to worry about like, oh shit, I'm gonna get fucking killed. You know. That being said, you know, I do have an itch to play other games all the time. You know, I'm like, I play a game for a little while. I'm like, okay, now I want to play something else. I've been playing this game for a month, so I've been hearing a lot about Arc Raiders. And I didn't really... Also, Battlefield 6, I wanted to play. But I was like, damn, I should have $70. And I know I'm going to get my ass whooped because I'm not really good at first-person shooters. I don't play it enough to, like, be good. I'm a casual player. I still want to get it, but maybe when it goes on sale. And then who knows? By the time it goes on sale, there's probably a Battlefield 7 or fucking new Call of Duty that everyone's playing now. That's what I hate about those games. It's like... You like it and you get into it, and then oh no, we're on to this game now. Now we're on to that game. Like those first-person shooter guys are just like, they're like the whores or like the players of video games. You know what I mean? When they're done fucking that bitch, they move on to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. It's like I still want to fuck this bitch. Why are we going away from this bitch? So, Arc Raiders appealed to me because it's only $4, and I like the concept. It's kind of like you go to the map, you go and try and like loot stuff on like a post-apocalyptic world or whatever, and then there's like drones or like robots that are like scouting the map looking for you, almost like hide and seek and whatever, to break it down to layman's terms. And if they catch you, they're gonna fuck you up unless you have all this shit that you need to fuck them up. And then there's also other raiders that are out there trying to do the same thing you're doing, scavenging shit. And they can either be cool and say, hey, I don't want to fight you, I'm just trying to fucking scavenge and get stuff. Or, I see something moving, I'm going to kill you. You know? So it's hit or miss, like when you see a raider, like what are they going to do? Which adds to the excitement of the game. Because you don't know if they're going to be cool or they're going to be a fucking asshole and try and kill you. The first time I ever played it, I assumed they're going to kill me, so I tried to kill them, but they were overpowering. So they killed me. And then the next time I played it, I was like, I'm not going to fuck with this guy because I suck, basically. I'm a newbie. And they didn't fuck with me either because they're probably a newbie as well. And I think the guy even said, like friendly, I'm friendly, I don't want to fight, you know? So we just, like, passed by each other, just did our thing. So anyways, you loot the map, get whatever supplies you can get, or that you need, and then you go back to, like, this elevator, and you click the elevator, and then you wait. The elevator takes forever, by the way. But that's part of the suspense of the game. So it makes this big alarm sound and shit, and you're just waiting for the stupid it's like an old school, like, 1920s elevator or some shit, even though we're supposed to be in the future or something. And you're waiting for the elevator, and then you go back to, like, your home planet or your base or whatever. And that's the gist of the game. And it's really simple. It doesn't sound like much, but it is very entertaining. It's only $40. If you're looking for some type of new game because you're bored with whatever you're currently playing, I definitely recommend it. And don't take my word for it. Just go on the internet. You're going to find everyone, praising this game. And when games become to the point where, like, I can't get away from it without people praising it, okay, I'll check it out. And for $40, you can't beat it. So Arc Raiders, definitely a dope-ass game. And I just started playing it. I'm not that good at it yet. I only got, like, maybe 3 hours in. But it's fucking fun. Alright, so what else we got to talk about here? The Epstein files being released. Wow. How about that? Talk about a fucking shit show. Now, as someone who voted for Trump, because I thought he was going to do all this shit, change things, drain the swamp. I gotta say, I'm like 75%, 80% maybe even, disappointed in his second term. He acted like he was going to do all this shit now because now it's the second term. He didn't have to worry about the first term. Now he learned his lesson on the first term and all this bullshit. And then what does he do? He brings in the same fucking rhinos and Israel first fucking swamp into his administration. And that's what we're kind of understanding now, I think, as a collective, is that MAGA is really about making America greater again for Israel. They don't tell you the in parentheses part. They just say, we're going to make America greater again. Yo, that sounds awesome. I want to make America greater again, don't you? Who doesn't want to make America greater again? But for who? They don't tell you that part. For who? And as we've seen, it's for Israel. Now, I'm not going to say Trump didn't have the right motivation or incentive. Maybe he was hurting financially because of whatever Obama was doing, and he originally wanted to make America greater again for Americans. But I think after he got that assassination attempt, and then you saw Netanyahu give those pagers to like fucking, or the Hamas, like all those people died from Hamas who had pagers to communicate. And oh, by the way, those pagers they're using to communicate with are owned by Zionist companies, so they're designed to blow up because they know that you have them, you know? And then he presents Trump with a gold pager as a gift, a token of friendship. What is the real underlying message there? You just heard about pagers blowing up, killing everyone in Hamas, or all the leaders and shit, or a group of leaders. I mean, they always have a new leader. But whoever was in charge that month, they all fucking died from a pager. A pager blew up and killed them. Then Netanyahu goes to visit Trump and says, here's a gold pager as a token of friendship. What does that really mean? Are you giving me a gold pager, which is not even, it's obsolete in America in 2025. Who the fuck has a pager anymore? You can see the underlying issue there. He's doing a subtle threat to let Trump know, if you don't play ball, we're going to take you out just like we took out Hamas. We already tried to take you out before. When you were campaigning, we had a mistake and we didn't get you. But we could have, and we will get you next time. We're not going to mess up again. And if you noticed, ever since he went to go visit, ever since Netanyahu went to go visit the White House, Trump has done a complete 180 on what he wants to do, what he thinks about the Epstein files. All of a sudden, the Epstein files went from, I'm going to get the Epstein files released. Like, that's what he campaigned on. That's like why the majority of his base voted for him, because we want to expose these motherfuckers and put them in prison or kill them. Hang them, you know? So it goes from that to, oh, the Epstein files are being released. And what does he do? He gives a binder to a bunch of people that we don't give a fuck about. A bunch of stupid, clout-chasing, you know, quote-unquote right-wing influencers. And then it ends up being shit we already knew about. And then he goes from that to, oh, actually, they don't exist at all. It's a Democrat hoax. What? And then he says, if you want these files to be released and you still believe in this Epstein thing, then you're an idiot and you're not MAGA. Like, if that's what you're going to tell me, go fuck yourself. A lot of people don't seem to understand, like, we were MAGA with or without Trump. Trump joined MAGA. Millions of Americans already felt this way. If you want to attach your fucking latch to this wagon, cool. Be the face of it if you're going to do what we want. If you're not going to do what we want, we're going to kick you right the fuck off. And that's exactly what's happening. I think Trump kind of realized it now, because now he's kind of backpedaling. Okay, we'll release the files, but it's a Democrat hoax, but we'll release them. It's about America first. And that's what it's becoming. MAGA has now been associated with Make America Great Again for Israel. So, fine, you can have MAGA. You can have Make America Great Again for Israel. And we know who you are. Ben Shapiro. What is his other guy's name? Fucking Dave Hammer, or the fucking stupid name is. The other guy, fucking, I can't remember these fucking idiots' names. But Ben Shapiro was like the main one. Who's like, you don't support Israel. You don't support MAGA. If you don't support Israel, you're not MAGA. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Fuck your yarmulke. I'm gonna take that shit off your head and toss it like a frisbee into the fucking ocean, and you can go chase it. So now it's about America first. Which is what it should have always been. We don't care about Israel. We don't care about Palestine. That's their problem. They can go figure it out. America has problems, and that's what we're concerned with. The only thing that we agree with on MAGA, as far as this Make Israel Great Again issue, is we think the borders need to be protected. And I'm not even 100% sure they care about that. Because they're not building the wall. And as far as I'm concerned, Israel's the reason why all these immigrants are coming here into the UK and everywhere else. They want to cause chaos so they can use it as an excuse to say, oh, see, Islam's the problem. Islam wasn't the problem until you brought them to our country. Then you have all these stupid neocons who think the Israelis, the current Israelis as we know them today, are like the Jews in the Bible, and that's not who they are. They're the synagogue of Satan, appointing themselves as the God's chosen people. And they're using the Bible as a blueprint, as like a strategy guide to basically fulfill biblical prophecy. So, moving on from there, Nick Fuentes being uncanceled. So he's like the new guy who's like America first. So it's kind of like, oh, if you don't support Trump now you have to support Nick Fuentes. And I'm not going to lie, I agree with a lot of what Nick Fuentes says. But why is he all of a sudden getting uncanceled? Why is he all of a sudden the face of this shit? I know he's been talking about it for years and he was being pretty much ignored. But I'm always skeptical of anyone who's like the face of anything. Now there's talks about him being gay or having like a furry fucking boyfriend before he even really blew up. I don't know what to think about that. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. All I can say is, if you're getting like press and you have Tucker Carlson putting on a pedestal now, I think part of it's manufactured. There's something there. They want that message to get out for whatever reason, because the Jews still own the media, and they're allowing Nick Fuentes to say what he says so they can take an inventory of everyone that agrees with them or something. I don't know. I like Nick Fuentes, but I don't 100% trust him, and I'm not latching my fucking my political beliefs to his wagon, even though I am America first. I'm America first, whether it's Nick Fuentes, Donald Trump, any of these motherfuckers that want to act like they're the first one to ever say it or think it. Nick Fuentes is not even 30 years old. I thought of this shit fucking decades ago. Back when Obama was president. I'm like, why are we not doing America first? Fuck this, fuck that. America first. These guys blow up, become famous for whatever reason. And, good on Nick Fuentes if he wants to kind of parrot some of the shit me and a lot of other people have thought for years. But I'm not going to say, you're the guy that I'm supporting now. I like what you say, but I can't trust you, dude. I don't know you personally. And I'm skeptical, like I said, of anyone that just gets all this fucking clout on the internet. So I guess it remains to be seen what's going to happen with Nick Fuentes. I guess he's not even 30 years old, so who knows? He's going to be becoming a full-blown communist in 10 years. Who fucking knows, right? These guys are always throwing you curveballs. And that really goes into the whole MAGA civil war, which is the next point I want to bring up. The liberals, the leftists, are just like licking their chops over the quote-unquote MAGA civil war. And I guess you can technically say it's a civil war, politically, mentally, philosophically, however you want to word it. But it's really just a bunch of fucking Israel first motherfuckers who took it upon themselves to say, we're MAGA. We are America first. No, you're not. You're not America first. You want Make America Great Again for Israel. And they're all exposing themselves one by one. Like I said, Ben Shapiro. A lot of them, dude. I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head because I don't even care about these motherfuckers enough to, like, study them or give a fuck about them. But anyone who's, like, upset because you don't want to give money to Israel, they're getting, like, $3.8 billion a year. Before they were getting, like, $3.6 billion a year. Then they got a new bill passed where they got $3.8 billion a year. And I think it expires in 2027. And they're seeing the writing on the wall. They know that basically the sentiment of being anti-Israel is growing in America because we're sick of it. So they're like worried. Like, oh, in 2040 or 2030 or whatever, we're not going to have the support we have. You're damn right you're not. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to convince Trump to do a 20-year... They usually have a 10-year deal. It's usually a 10-year deal to give them $3.6 billion a year for the next 10 years. They've done it like time and time again since Obama, Bush Jr. before that, and all that stuff. And now with Trump, they see that the writing's on the wall. So instead of a 10-year, they're trying to negotiate a 20-year. They're already getting $3.8 billion a year. You know they're going to try and bump that up to like $4 million a year. $4 billion a year. And they want to do it for 20 years. They want to extend it to 20 years because they know by like 2030, no one's going to support Israel. Pretty much everyone's done with Israel. We're sick of it. We don't care about it. We're tired of you guys acting like it's going to end. Just give us fucking $3 more billion and we'll finish this war with Palestine. You never finish it, dude. There's no end to these wars. And you don't want it to be end because that means the end of your gravy train. Israel gets all this money. All the shit that we want in America, like free healthcare and shit, Israel gets on our dime. On US dollar, tax dollar dime. And they need us to exist. How about if you can't exist on your own, you don't deserve to exist. If you can't defend your own country, then you don't deserve to exist. And they know that. So they're trying to make it so we can't exist without, we're at a point where we can't exist anymore because we can't defend ourselves. Because we're too busy giving money to Israel and giving money to fucking Ukraine and everybody else that needs money because they're so helpless. Fuck them all. America first. Isolate from everybody. I'm not saying don't trade. Yeah, we can have a friendly, cooperative world trade agreement with people. But we're done being the world police. We're done supporting Israel. And a lot of these neocons and these fucking snakes that are acting like they're MAGA, but they're really MEGA, are coming out of the woodworks. And it's funny because my wife, who's not... she's political, but she doesn't want to be like an outspoken like me on the internet talking about shit. Even she, she's part of like her little conservative groups on Facebook and shit that she talks with other girls. And she was part of a little group that were like, it was a conservative girl, conservative cuties or whatever the fuck they're called. And it was all girls that are like MAGA and shit. And there was this one girl who's in charge of it. And you can totally tell she's a clout chaser. She just wants to get famous. But she's like the head of the whole group. And when Charlie Kirk died, she was basically like, anyone who doesn't support Charlie Kirk's organization now is a fucking traitor, And it was girls like my wife who were like, hold on, there's something fishy here. How do we know that Turning Point had nothing to do with it? Have you seen the video footage? Like, it looks like Turning Point kind of knew what was going on or had something to do with it. And when she even suggested that, and other, not just her, but other girls that were kind of suspicious about Charlie Kirk's assassination, they immediately got banned. So let's say it was a group of like 10,000 people. Like 1,000 people got banned from this group because, you're questioning the authority here. You're questioning the narrative, which is Charlie Kirk was Israel first. He supported Israel no matter what. And if you think he didn't, then you're a problem. So they formed a new group, and it was like conspiracy chicks now. So it was like the conspiracy cuties or something. And they started their own little group. And my wife's telling me about this shit. She's not a part of this group. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Have fun, you know? And now these girls are having a little dispute because even within the conspiracy realm, there's still girls that think, like, even though there's a conspiracy there behind Charlie Kirk's death, out of that, let's say 1,000 people, there's still a group that still think that Israel had nothing to do with it. They think, like, oh, maybe his wife was just jealous and wanted money or something. Yeah, that's part of it. But what's the real reason? Why did she really want to have money? Why was she really, you know... Like, if you look at all the variables involved there, especially with Charlie Kirk, who pretty much denounced Israel towards the end of his life. Not formally, but just knowing that his donors were not giving the money to where... he was getting money from his Jewish donors, right? But he wasn't understanding where that money was going, or like where the money that he was using or getting, like what their motive was. And I think he did some research on his own because he was getting criticized for being an Israeli shill from Groypers and people like that. I don't think he publicly stated it, but he was like talking amongst his friends like Candace Owens and, you know, other people, and realizing that Israel is really doing stuff that we don't agree with as an America First or MAGA, before it was considered Israel First, movement. We're giving you billions of dollars. You're doing a genocide on Palestine. Why? What's going on here? Like, you said this shit would be over with already. You'd have it contained or whatever your deal was. And it's never contained. You always need more money. There's always a new group you got to kill. There's always a new war you want the United States to get involved with. I think he finally realized, like, this is bullshit. I can't support it anymore. And before he could really go public with his voice, and they knew where he was going with it, they took him out. So his own people, who were his quote-unquote friends, were actually Israel First. People he grew up with, or maybe even, you know, maybe not grew up with, but like they were like his quote-unquote best friends, saw the writing on the wall and where he was headed, and they just helped allocate that assassination through funds, through intelligence, whatever it was, to make sure that happened. Because Turning Point was now becoming bigger financially than Charlie Kirk. Like, we could exist without Charlie Kirk, basically. And if he's not going to continue to, you know, if he's not going to continue to pull the fucking boat here, then we're going to get rid of him, and we're going to take it into our own narrative and our own message. So I think that's what the goal was here with that. And then going back to what I was saying about my wife, that group is now getting divisive over Israel. So now that small conspiracy group of, let's say, 1,000 people is now dwindling down to like 500, 250 people maybe. People who are just anti-Zionist. We don't want Zionism in our government. We don't want it in our country. Go do your shit in Israel. And I think that's what it's boiling down to as far as what the MAGA civil war is. It's not really a civil war. It's just pretty much exposing the people that were always there, that kind of hid their tracks and pretended to be people they weren't. I think we're going to get through this, and I think MAGA is going to eventually go extinct and become Israel First, and they have no choice but to be what they are, which is Israel First. There is no MAGA. It's either America First or Israel First. I think that's where we're headed in the future with that stuff. And with the Epstein files, Trump was kind of, had his arm twisted to get this shit released and sign it. And God bless Thomas Massey for doing that. I know Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned probably because she's seen the writing on the wall with this whole fucking sham that Trump's being, with the whole fucking, he's actually Israel First now because his daughter, and maybe he got pressured or whatever. I honestly think they just said, we're going to kill you or your grandkids or something if you don't play ball. And Trump's probably scared for his life, or maybe the Epstein files has something that's embarrassing. I don't feel like my intuition doesn't tell me he's like in the files like banging kids or something, because the Democrats would have exposed that immediately to prevent his presidency from the get-go. But it's probably something embarrassing. You know, like you're hearing about this, like sucking Bill Clinton's dick or something. Maybe he did that. I don't know. Maybe he's like Bill Clinton. Hey, you want to have some more money? Suck my dick or something. I don't know. Maybe it's something like that. I have no idea. But it's probably something embarrassing that he doesn't want to be leaked, and that's why he's fucking doing it. Bending over backwards for Israel, or maybe, like I said, not Netanyahu fucking threatened to kill him again, or his family, and he doesn't want to go that route, so he's playing ball now. But guess what? You put yourself in that arena, we don't have sympathy for that. If you don't want to be involved, then don't get involved. Don't even run for president. That's what this shit's about. It's life or death. So if Trump wants to fucking bend the knee, he can bend the knee, but the movement will continue to go forward. We need a populist in office who is not going to bend the knee to Israel. And if that means we have to go to war with Israel, then so be it. That's where it's going to come to. And I think that's where it's going to come to eventually. As soon as enough Americans wake up to the bullshit. And then Candace Owens has said she has a source who basically told her from like the French government or something that she has been greenlit for an assassination. And I don't know if that's because she's been saying that Macron, or whatever the fuck his name is, his wife's a tranny. I mean, she's an ugly motherfucker. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's look her up real quick. Macron. I mean, look at this. What is that? That looks like a fucking chimpanzee with a fucking wig on. It doesn't look real. She's way older than him. I don't know. I don't even know what he would even see in her. She got the Invisalign, so her smile looks okay. Let's put man. Can we find something like that? I don't know. Just that hair. That hair doesn't look like it fits that face. It looks like a wig. Maybe she's just an ugly woman. I don't know. But here's the thing. If you're really a woman and someone's calling you a man or a tranny and you're not, why would you really give a shit unless there's some sort of credence there? Unless they're tapping into something that you're like, fuck, they're finding out. They're on to me. She looks like a Planet of the Apes cast member. That hair does not look real. It looks like a wig. Of course, every photo I'm finding of her on this fucking Google images are like the perfect, like the best photos they could find of her. I mean, at the very least, she's had extensive plastic surgery. Like, what's up with that nose? It just doesn't look right. There's something going on there. And if you're not a dude, then why are you so worried? I don't really see any curves. That's her body. But yeah, supposedly she's Candace Owens has been greenlit for an assassination. So let's go on here and watch what Benny Johnson has to say about it. Real quick. We'll skim through. I'm going to play the whole video.
What's up, guys? The single most viral post on the entire internet right now is Candace Owens claiming that she is about to be assassinated by an international mercenary group of Israelis. and French special agents that will be dispatched by the nation of France, the first family of France, to kill her. Now, whatever you think about that statement, one, it has been seen by 7.7 million people right now. It is the most viral post on the internet. Two, I just witnessed one of my best friends get shot on a live stream. We all witnessed it. We all witnessed President Trump get shot in the head on a live movement, get killed. And so I'm not going to discount out of hand any claims like this. Now's the time to claim it seriously. People have been arrested. Multiple people have been arrested threatening my life and my family. So I take these things seriously. Let's read and listen to Candace, what she has to say here, and then we will assess. Urgent, says Candace with a siren. 2 days ago, I was contacted by high-ranking employees of the French government. After determining this position and proximity to the French couple, this French couple meaning the First Lady and President of France, Brigitte Macron and Emmanuel Macron, who Candace alleges Brigitte Macron is a man. They are suing Candace Owens for defamation in a lawsuit that is 279 pages long. Many experts say that it will withstand the motion to dismiss, and so it sounds like we have an actual lawsuit on our hands. First time I have ever heard of such a thing. Foreign head of state suing a YouTuber, podcaster in America. But nonetheless, it seems like that is going to move forward if Candace survives. According to her, she may not. Let's continue to read. Again, we take this with complete and total seriousness. I have deemed this information that they gave to me to be credible enough to share with the public something in case something happens. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you have read that correctly. More specifically, that the green light was given to a small team of a national gendarmerie intervention group. Okay, so this is like a French special forces group. I am told that there is one Israeli that is on the assassination squad and the plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade in a multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Passard's life is also at risk. This is also a journalist, Xavier Passard, who sort of popularized in France the idea that Brigitte Macron is transgender, was born a man, and then transitioned into a woman, and that the first man and first lady of France are in a really creepy, abusive relationship. I mean, that is a matter of fact, by the way. Brigitte Macron's gender, not a matter of fact. We look forward to the very simple chromosome test that will prove one way or the other, or whatever. This is deadly serious. The head of the state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. I want to ask that every person retweet this and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted, since the source claims that leaders are aware in our government. I have more specific information, which is definitely verifiable, should they care to reach out to me. To the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life. May God bless you truly.
Yeah, so, I mean, you see it right there. I mean, she's saying this shit, so we'll find out. Is she going to get assassinated? I will say, if they actually pull this off, especially this quickly after Charlie Kirk's death, I mean, it's just going to... What this is going to do is just pretty much solidify or, make it be aware, without a shadow of a doubt, that if you go against the narrative or the establishment, they now have the right or, the public, how do you say this? They basically have, they're letting it be known that if you go against them, they're going to kill you. We got tweets now saying this shit. Charlie Kirk can have the advantage of saying they're going to kill me, whether he thought it or not. Candace Owens is saying right here, if I get killed, it's because of these motherfuckers. So if she dies in the next week or two or the month or whatever, she's already told you who it is. So we'll see what happens. They better hope they don't do it, because I think it's just going to backfire on them. It's going to make more people hate what's going on here and become more anti-Israel and anti-whatever is going on here. And that, I mean, that's, I mean, we're seeing it in, you know, as it happens, basically. And then, last thing I want to talk about is Elon Musk, I guess, quote unquote, accidentally gives the location to MAGA accounts. I don't know if it was accidentally or not, but, so I can find this shit real quick. I'm gonna go on conspiracy. Or no, I think I have conspiracy over here. So this is what it said. So basically what happened was Elon Musk changed a setting or a feature on X where it would show the location of where the account comes from. So someone did a snapshot of what it said right when he did this. And Homeland Security, you know, this is the U.S. Homeland Security, supposed to protect our borders. Date joined, July 2008 in Israel. Account based in Tel Aviv, Israel. They've had 16 username changes since July 2008. And they connected via the Israel App Store. So, I don't know how long this was online, but Elon immediately, you know, discovered the mistake or the error in his ways here, and they fixed it, and they either removed it or allowed the Homeland Security X account to change it back. So if you go look at it now, it'll say from the United States. But someone screenshotted this shit, and it shows that Homeland Security's Twitter account or X account is actually based in Israel. So our Department of Homeland Security is actually an Israeli fucking operation, at least on the internet. Whoever's in managing this shit on the internet is from Israel. And that's the bigger issue we have here is dual citizenship politicians and the Israeli government infiltrating the U.S. government to make the U.S. government gravitate its needs and agendas towards Israel's perseverance. And we can even look at, you know, a lot of people wonder, like, how did Israel get so much power in the U.S. government? Like, what happened? There was World War II. The Nazis, you know, quote unquote, holocausted them, right? And then all of a sudden, Israel's now in charge of the U.S. Well, there's a lot to go. There's a lot to go on there. But basically, one of the major things was the Apollo affair. But before the Apollo affair even happened, you know, there was prohibition. So actually, let's look at prohibition real quick. And I'm just going to do a real quick thing here because I want to get out of here and call it a night on this podcast. But so prohibition. In case anyone doesn't know what prohibition was, it was the act of or practice of forbidding something by law, more particularly the terms to the banning of the manufacture, storage, whether in barrels or bottles, of transportation, sale, possession, and consumption of alcoholic beverages. So, you know, basically they realized there was an alcohol problem. Maybe, you know, we're talking about the Industrial Revolution where they need, like, mass scale production starting to upscale and ramp up. But they had an alcohol problem. So people are not showing up to work. People are not doing their best because they're drunk all the time. So they had to do something about this, which was ban alcohol. Let's do prohibition because we're starting the Industrial Revolution here. We're trying to get shit moving. And you guys are drunk all the time. We need to get this shit moving because we want to go to mass manufacturing. So alcohol was a problem because it was making everyone lazy and fucking stupid and too drunk to do anything, you know? So when they did this, it caused a black market. And when they created the black market, now the criminals who were struggling to get by because they were like the, you know, the typical bank robber on a horseback or whatever, now they have a whole market that they don't have to try and do the petty crimes they were doing, because now there's a whole black market available to them if they just go underground. Because alcohol is now prohibited, so they started a black market where, hey, you want alcohol? And everyone back then wanted alcohol. Times were tough, you know, especially during the fucking Great Depression and whatnot. So you have the Irish, you have the Jews, all the fucking immigrants basically who were trying to make ends meet. Realized, like, well, the quickest way to make money is through alcohol sales and transportation, tobacco, all that stuff. So all these criminals basically got rich, filthy rich, because of Prohibition. Because now there's a black market. Now people are coming to them. They don't even have to, like, try and rob the local fucking dime store. Because people are, hey, man, I'll give you everything I got for a bottle of alcohol. So there's different regions. You know, I think the Italians had, like, you know, the Italians and the Jews had the Northeast and shit. And then they had, like, the Southern, or the whites in the Southeast. Like, there was different demographics there. Nonetheless, the major cities like Chicago, New York, it was all, you know, Irish and Jewish that were doing this stuff. There was other parties involved, but, you know, let's just say Israel and Ireland for, you know, the story here. They basically they went from being small time criminals to, like, multi-millionaires for their time. To the point where they have so much money, now they can start legitimate businesses because they have the money to do so. So they started, you know, they opened up movie studios, and they opened up, like, legitimate businesses. And that's basically how Israel, or Israelis, or Jews in the U.S. got their power, because of Prohibition. Because they were struggling immigrants. They went through the black market, selling alcohol illegally, got a shit ton of money, started their little empires, had legitimate businesses that were actually now contributing to the U.S. economy, and now they have power in the political realm. Because, oh, you own you know, MGM or fucking Warner Brothers or whatever fucking studio they started, you know, not just movie studios, but anything, any business you can think of, they had the money to produce it and create it because of the Prohibition black market, or the market that was provided because of Prohibition. So once they had this money to have legitimate businesses in the U.S., now they can have people that are Zionists, people who want, you know, the state of Israel to continue to flourish, to enter their ranks as CEOs or whatever position in their companies that are legitimate businesses, you know? So you look over here at, let's go back to the Apollo affair. So what is the Apollo affair? The Apollo affair was a Numic affair, or whatever the fuck that means, was a 1965 incident in which a U.S. company, which, by the way, is probably now controlled by Zionists due to Prohibition, in the Pittsburgh suburbs of Apollo and Parks Township, Pennsylvania, was investigated for losing 200 to 600 pounds of highly enriched uranium. So basically, to make a long story short, they did Prohibition. There was a black market. Israel, or Jewish gangs or whatever, made money doing the illegal, trade for alcohol and tobacco and whatever else. Established legitimate businesses. And then once they had an established business, and especially after World War II was done, so there's no Nazi problem, now they have their foothold in the U.S. So they have a U.S. business, and then, oh, what do you know? We just accidentally lost 200 to 600 pounds of highly enriched uranium. Well, you need highly enriched uranium to make a nuclear bomb. So they got that highly enriched uranium, and then, what do you know? The state of Israel now has highly enriched uranium. I wonder how that happened. So now they have highly enriched uranium in Israel. They manufacture weapons of mass destruction. So now they have a nuclear bomb without the approval of the U.S. or the UN or anyone. And they basically said, we have nuclear weapons, and if you fuck with us, if you ever try to like Holocaust us again, or whatever, if you ever, I mean, they call it Holocaust, but it can really just be like they feel threatened. They have the right to nuke everybody. Because they have nukes. We didn't get approval for the nukes. We have nukes. There's nothing you can do about it. Because half our government is now on our side. Because they're in your government. So fuck off. That's basically what happened here. And then, let's look up the Samson option. Because that's basically what explains why they have the right to do this shit. So the Samson option is Israel's deterrent strategy of massive retaliation with nuclear weapons as a last resort. What is the last resort? Who fucking knows? It's up to them to decide, right? Against a country whose military has invaded or destroyed much of Israel. So that's to their discretion. It's not to our discretion. We can't say, oh, your country's only 25% destroyed. You can't do that. You can you can attack one little fucking place in Israel, and if they want to, they can say, oh, it's our last resort. We're going to use nukes. We have U.S. bases all over the U.S. and all over the fucking country. I mean, all over the world. You don't think they have their fucking Israel bullshit right there to fucking set off, detonate if they want? Commentators also have employed the term to refer to situations where non-nuclear, non-Israeli actions have threatened conventional weapons retaliation. So, I mean, they basically can have, it's not just nukes, it's biological warfare, it's chemical warfare, whatever they want, basically. And we're at Israel's beck and call. What do we have to do? What do we have to do? Just don't hurt us. We don't want you to do the Samson option. Please, don't do it. We'll do whatever you want. We'll give you money. We'll let you join our government. Just please don't hurt us. We are held hostage by the Israeli government because they came to America as immigrants, made money through prohibition, black market, made legitimate businesses, made millions, if not billions of dollars, stole enriched uranium, gave it to Israel so they could build nuclear weapons without any sort of approval or granting. And now we're held hostage because they have nukes and they will use them if they feel like they are threatened in any sort of way. So when Israel says Iran's a threat, and if U.S. doesn't fucking jump up and fucking say how high do we have to jump? Then Israel say, okay, you're not providing what we need. We're going to nuke you. We're going to nuke them. We're going to nuke everybody because we're quote unquote threatened. That is the world we live in. That is the bullshit we are dealing with in the U.S. And that is why Israel needs to be exterminated from the U.S. government. No dual citizenship politicians. None of it. U.S. and Israel need to come to war if we can't come to an agreement. And that agreement is, we are not helping you. We are not providing you money. We are not doing anything that helps you with your agenda. It's your little tiny New Jersey-sized country. It's your problem. If you can't survive without our help, then you sink. But Israel doesn't want that. Israel won't allow it. They're going to nuke us, or Iran, or whatever country they feel like, to cause chaos if we don't obey their orders. And that is why all these politicians in the U.S. are fucking blackmailed and fucking scared to death to fucking do what Americans need. And I'm going to end this podcast now because it's really pissing me off. And I'm sick of talking about it because no one fucking does anything about it. They talk about it. They say things need to change, but then everyone just fucking bends the knee to Israel, including Trump. So now you know where we're at. And where we go in the future, who knows? But if there's a World War III, it's because of Israel. And now you know why.
Everything.
So we'll see you next time on the Trashy Show.
Is a conspiracy.
Everything's conspiracy.
Everything
Even you are
is
conspiracy.
a conspiracy.
Everything
See you next time.
is a conspiracy.
Everything is a conspiracy. Everything is a